There's an ancient secret that separates those who merely learn from those who achieve true mastery. Today, you'll uncover why so many never progress beyond the beginner stage in anything they attempt. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to master any skill they pursue? They learn an instrument in months, master a new language in a year, or build thriving businesses from nothing while others struggle endlessly. Many dismiss this as talent, saying they were born with a gift. You've likely heard this excuse, or maybe even used it yourself. It's the lie that stops people cold. I don't have the talent, so I'll never master this. But that's not the truth. The secret to mastery isn't talent. It's something you were never taught in school, college, or any course you've bought. In feudal Japan, a system transformed peasants into lethal samurai and mediocre artisans into masters whose works endured centuries. This system wasn't about intelligence or innate gifts. It was about 3 invisible stages that turned amateurs into masters. They called it Shuhari. When you understand Shuhari, you stop starting 1,000 things and finishing none. You become someone who masters what they choose, when they choose, but it demands a price. It requires accepting a truth your ego will resist. Before we dive into this system, I invite you to subscribe, like this video, and share in the comments. What skill do you most want to master? Guitar, programming, a new language? I love reading your responses and connecting with you. Now, let's begin. The story unfolds in feudal Japan, in a village nestled among rice fields and shadowed mountains. A young man named Yamato carried a dream that burned brighter than the morning sun, to become a samurai. Born to no noble lineage, with no name or status, Yamato was just a peasant boy. Yet his obsession consumed him. While other village boys accepted lives as farmers or merchants, Yamato watched samurai pass by on the dusty roads, their disciplined strides and piercing gazes commanding respect without a word. He wanted that life more than he wanted breath itself. At 16, he found a wooden sword and began training alone before dawn. He mimicked the samurai's moves, horizontal strikes, vertical thrusts, practicing for hours daily. Historical records from the Edo-period describe such self-taught aspirants, often called Ronin hopefuls, who trained in solitude, driven by sheer will. But 6 months later, Yamato's movements remained clumsy. The sword felt heavy, his body uncooperative. Frustration grew with every swing. He devoured ancient manuscripts on battle strategies, memorized Bushido's code of honor, and learned names of classical techniques like kiriotoshi and tsuki. His mind brimmed with knowledge, but his sword betrayed him. A year passed, and Yamato remained a village boy with an impossible dream, his wooden sword a symbol of failure. One humid afternoon, as Yamato practiced near a forest, a voice cut through the air. "Your feet are wrong, your posture is wrong, your breathing is wrong. Everything is wrong." He turned to see an older samurai, gray hair tied back, scars etching his face, 2 swords at his waist, a true warrior of the Sengoku era, where such masters were forged in blood and discipline. Shame flooded Yamato. "I'm trying to learn alone, sir. I have no master." The samurai circled him, eyes sharp. "How long?" "1 year, sir." "And have you improved?" Silence answered. The samurai took Yamato's sword. "You're not training, you're cementing mistakes. Every flawed swing teaches your body to fail better." The words struck like a blade. Yamato had spent a year getting worse. "Sir," he stammered, "how do I do it right?" "I've studied strategies, memorized moves." The samurai's gaze hardened. "That's your error. You built a castle from the roof down. You studied strategy before posture, innovation before imitation. You skipped the path." He locked eyes with Yamato. "There is a path to mastery. 3 stages you cannot skip or rush. Ignore them, and you'll remain mediocre forever." "What path?" Yamato asked. "Shuhari," the samurai said. "Shu, obey, ha, break, re, let go. 3 stages, 1 destination, true mastery." Yamato's heart raced. "Please teach me." After a long pause, the samurai nodded. "Tomorrow at dawn, prepare to unlearn everything." Dawn broke, and Yamato stood in a clearing, the samurai before him. "Today begins Shu," the master declared. "You don't think, you don't question, you obey and copy exactly as I show you." He assumed a stance, adjusting Yamato's foot a fraction, his hip a degree, his shoulder a hair. "Breathe. 3 seconds in through your nose, 2 seconds hold, 4 seconds out through your mouth." They held the stance for 10 minutes, Yamato's legs burning, his mind screaming. This was pointless. Historical samurai training, as described in texts like Hagakure, emphasized such grueling repetition to forge discipline. "Master," Yamato blurted, "when do we practice real strikes?" The samurai's eyes narrowed. "You think posture is boring? Breathing a waste? That's why you'll never be a samurai. Mastery is built in millimeters." Yamato swallowed his pride. "Shu is about obedience until your body knows what your mind cannot," the master continued. "Every technique rests on these fundamentals you scorn." Weeks passed. Posture, breathing, basic movements repeated thousands of times. No duels, no advanced techniques, just relentless basics. Yamato's ego fought daily. "This is too slow. I could learn real techniques." Yet something shifted. His stance became natural, his breathing effortless. One day, 3 months in, the master showed a horizontal strike. 1,000 times, exactly as I do. Yamato practiced it obsessively. On the 4th day, during strike 400, his body moved perfectly, the sword flowing as if alive. "Did you feel it?" the master asked. Yamato nodded, awestruck. "That's Shu. The technique lives in your body, not your mind. Most never reach this because they think repetition is beneath them." A 2018 University of Tokyo study on motor learning confirms this. After 300 and 500 correct repetitions, neurons in the cerebellum form automated patterns. After 1,000, the skill becomes unconscious. But change too soon, and the pattern never sets. 6 months into Shu, Yamato mastered 12 techniques so deeply he could perform them in his sleep, once proven when the master woke him for a flawless vertical strike. But a question gnawed at him. He saw other warriors, some with years more training, who knew hundreds of techniques yet fought poorly. "Master," he asked, "why do they know so much but fight worse than me?" The samurai smiled faintly. "You found the eternal student's trap. They collect techniques like toys, learning new ones before mastering the last. They read strategies but never internalized them. Knowledge is a map. Mastery is walking the territory until the map is useless." This trap, common in Japan's dojo culture, plagued those who chased breadth over depth. Yamato realized he'd escaped this hell through Shu's discipline. "You've built a foundation," the master said. "Now you're ready to break." "In the Shu stage, you became a flawless copy of me," the master explained, his voice steady as the ancient oaks surrounding them. "You mirrored my every move, building a foundation as solid as the earth beneath a castle. But lingering there makes you merely my shadow, not a warrior in your own right." He drew a circle in the dirt with his sword's tip, evoking the Zen Enso symbol of enlightenment and imperfection that influenced many samurai philosophies. "Shu is this circle boundaries I imposed. Now comes Ha, where you shatter it. But beware, many mistake Ha for reckless rebellion, breaking rules out of laziness, not mastery." Yamato listened intently, the weight of 6 months' discipline settling in his bones. "Ha isn't rejection," the master continued. "It's delving so deeply into the whys of each technique that you can adapt, combine, and evolve them. This blooms only if Shu's roots run true." That afternoon, for the first time, the master summoned another instructor, a warrior from a rival school, his style as fierce as a typhoon off the Japanese coast, contrasting the first master's calm precision. Historical accounts from the Muromachi period reveal how samurai often cross-trained in multiple ryuha, or schools, to forge versatile fighters amid endless clan wars. "For the next year," the master commanded, "train with him too. His methods will clash with mine, different stances, strikes, philosophies." Yamato's brow furrowed. "Won't this confuse everything I've learned?" "If Shu faltered, yes, you'd become a muddled fighter without soul. But your foundation is ironclad. Now you'll uncover universal truths hidden beneath all styles." Thus began the Ha stage, a whirlwind of contradiction that tested Yamato's spirit like the forge tempers steel. Mornings with his original master, low stances, measured movements, patient defense rooted in the defensive strategies of schools like Yagyu Shinkaje-ryu, emphasizing harmony with the opponent's energy. Afternoons with the new instructor, high postures, explosive assaults, relentless aggression inspired by aggressive styles akin to Itodo-ryu, focused on decisive single strikes. At first, Yamato's mind fractured, switching between worlds like a leaf in storm winds. The contrasts sparked inner turmoil. He felt torn, questioning if unity was possible. But after 3 months, glimmers emerged. Beneath the surface clashes, both taught efficient energy flow, opponent reading, and presence, principles echoing across martial traditions, from Chinese Kung Fu to Korean Taekwondo, where forms hide deeper essences. "You're awakening," his first master observed, noting the spark in Yamato's eyes. "Shuge forms, Ha reveals principles. Forms become tools, not chains." A year transformed Yamato. No longer a mimic, he fused techniques innovatively. One morning, he parried with the first master's stance, but riposted with the second's fury fluid, instinctive. The masters exchanged knowing smiles. "What was that?" the second asked. "It just felt right," Yamato replied, breathless from the emotional surge of creation. "Ha is complete," the first declared. "You adapt wisely, grasping the why." Yet he added a warning Yamato hadn't anticipated. "Here, 99% halt. They adapt, combine, and swell with pride, thinking mastery achieved. But Ha remains a cage, tied to learn techniques, even creatively. You're a skilled artisan, not yet a transcendent master. The third stage demands what few offer, total surrender. Ri is where techniques don't serve you. You become the vessel they flow through," the master intoned, his words carrying the mystique of Zen koans that permeated samurai training, urging enlightenment beyond form. "No techniques exist, only pure response to the now." Yamato puzzled. "Fight without techniques? Impossible." "You'll see," the master promised, sharing a tale from his youth. "I studied the sword 40 years, mastering 300 techniques across 12 styles, earning fame as a top swordsman." His eyes distant, recalling battles of the Warring States era. "Then an 80-year-old master challenged me, frail, unsteady. I accepted, expecting courtesy. He bested me in 3 moves, using no recognizable style, like water shapeless yet perfectly molded to each instant." The old man's words echoed. "You fight well, knowing techniques, but you still fight," I respond. "My body anticipates before thought. No choice, just natural flow." Yamato absorbed this, feeling a spark of awe mixed with doubt. "How do I reach Ri? Time, endless practice, and cease striving." The next 5 years frustrated Yamato deepest. No new lessons, just daily combats against varied foes, styles clashing like waves on Kyoto's shores. Initially, his mind catalogued first master's block, second's counter, but gradually labels faded, techniques blurred into instinct. One fateful day, facing 3 opponents in a simulated melee echoing historical samurai trials, he shattered through. No decisions, his body danced, blocking, striking, evading, in seamless harmony. Opponents fell. Yamato stood serene, unable to recall specific moves. "You stopped fighting," the master said, smiling rare approval. "Your body responded purely." This is Rai transcendence, where skill and self merge. A Kyoto University study on embodied cognition reveals, at peak mastery, prefrontal cortex activity drops, ancient brain structures dominate. The expert and skill unite neurologically, a phenomenon seen in masters across cultures, from Japanese sword saints to Western virtuosos. Years later, Yamato had shed his village boy's skin, emerging as a revered samurai whose presence evoked the quiet power of ancient cedars in Kyoto's temples. More than a warrior, he was a master, drawing students from distant lands eager to absorb his wisdom. They always posed the same query: "Master, how many techniques do you know?" Yamato's reply never varied: "None and all." This baffled them. They craved lists, numbers, certainties. But Yamato had grasped a truth born from Shuhari's full traverse. Techniques were mere pointers, like fingers toward the moon in Zen parables. Obsess over the finger, and the moon's glory escapes you. One day, an arrogant youth challenged him. "Master, my former teacher knows 500 techniques. How can you surpass him?" Yamato grasped the wooden sword, his movements fluid as a river. "Attack with your finest." The youth unleashed an intricate strike, honed over years. Yamato shifted subtly, an angle here, a stance there, and the youth lay disarmed, bewildered. "You wielded a named technique," Yamato explained, extending a hand. Solid, effective in most arenas. But I used none. My body answered the moment's unique call, a response never before seen, never to repeat. You're bound by 500 choices. I draw from infinity, crafting anew each instant. This essence, rooted in Bushido's adaptability amid feudal chaos, separated collectors from creators. Yamato's tale transcends swords and samurai. It's a blueprint for any pursuit. Crave guitar mastery? Shuhari guides. In Shu, replicate songs note for note, no flair, until patterns embed in your fingers like muscle memory in traditional Japanese koto players. In Ha, blend genres, grasp theory's undercurrents, viewing principles beyond notes. In Ri, the guitar sings through you, music flows unbound, as if you've become the melody. Seek programming prowess. Shu, copy veteran code line by line, adhering to patterns without deviation, echoing apprenticeships in ancient guilds. Ha, decode the why, fuse approaches, tailor solutions. Ri, problems dissolve, code manifests intuitively, languages fading into pure logic. Dream of business empire. Shu, mirror-proven models, no reinvention, drawing from merchant traditions of Edo's bustling markets. Ha, adapt to niches, uncover timeless principles crossing industries. Ri, no models needed, intuition reads markets like a master senses foes, decisions emerging effortlessly. Shuhari isn't mere philosophy, it's the neural architecture of profound learning, universal as the human spirit's quest for excellence. Yet, a hidden truth explains why mastery eludes most, the outright rejection of Shu. The scorching reality? Today's seekers shun true mastery by dodging Shu's rigors. Echoes abound, rules stifle me, I'll forge my path. Creativity thrives my way. It rings of freedom, originality, but its ego's veil, shielding from fundamentals grind. Yamato could have rebelled. Why mimic you, master? I'm unique. He'd have remained a dreamer, not a legend. Our era peddles a poison, skip basics for self-expression, deem imitation uncreative. Result? A society skimming surfaces, starting hobbies galore, mastering zilch. Guitar wasn't me, they claim, after skimping Shu's patience. Brutal honesty. Your unmastered skill isn't talent's absence, time's scarcity or resource drought. It's Ha or Ri attempts sans Shu's bedrock. You crave virtuoso riffs without scale drills, pro code without copying masters, eight-figure ventures sans studying successes. Shu bores, humiliates, admitting ignorance, mimicking precisely. We've bought the myth, we're snowflakes, exempt from paths legends trod. Cling to it and mediocrity reigns. No shortcuts exist. Zen monks meditated endlessly 8 centuries past. Samurai drilled relentlessly 400 years ago. Masters universally affirm, only Shuhari. Act now, not tomorrow. Select one transformative skill. Seek a mentor, tenfold your superior online if needed. But one voice. Enter Shu humbly. Imitate obsessively, no tweaks. Boring, identity eroding, judged robotic, perfect, you're on track. When techniques autopilot, advance to Ha, explore variants, combine, question deeply, persist years, not months. This evolves slowly. Then, unknowingly, Ri arrives. Effortless execution, novel creations, transcendence. Return to basics anew, eyes transformed. An Oxford study of 500 masters across domains. Music to business unveiled, all followed Shuhari's triad. Rigorous imitation 1 to 3 years, experimentation 3 to 7, intuitive mastery. No skips, even for prodigies, only pace varied. Yamato reached 87, mentoring hundreds. On his deathbed, encircled by disciples, one queried, "Master, your greatest regret?" He pondered, not embracing Shu sooner. "I wasted a year self-teaching, deeming myself cleverer. An earlier start, a year more mastery, priceless treasure. To them, avoid my folly. Copy a master shamelessly, egolessly, sans haste for uniqueness. Mastery bursts originality inevitably." Days later, he passed serenely, legacy etched. Shuhari reshapes you from impatient flitterer to patient artisan, humble beginner to wise transcendent. This latent self awaits, disciplined, wise, embracing the long road as swiftest. Shuhari mirrors your future, ego-free beginner or shortcut chaser? Only the former masters, Yamato, talentless peasant, chose wisely, transforming into eternal icon. Your path beckons, chase illusions, stagnate or tread. Shuhari, ascend. Mastery demands pursuit, step by repetition. If this stirred insights on learning, subscribe and bell activate for more. Comment, what skill will Shuhari conquer for you? For psychology philosophy fans, check my new channel link below, small but growing with quality. Thanks for reaching here, you're among the committed 1%. Dive into Shu, years hence, marvel at your evolution. Until next.